Hey guys, welcome back to the Full Show. Just doing my little recap of Michigan losing their first game of the year to Minnesota. This game was tough to watch, man. This was tough. Michigan was held to 23 points in the first half. They only had 57 for the whole game. And, just start off from the beginning. Eli Brooks hurt his foot, ankle, whatever it was, in practice this week and was out for the game. And that really had to make Michigan shuffle all kinds of things. Chaundee Brown started instead of Brooks. And, it just threw the whole rotation off. Obviously, Chaundee's normally the first one off the bench. It also seemed to make everyone kind of pressing a little bit more. And that didn't help. And I got to give full credit. Minnesota really did a great job of doubling down on Dickinson. He only had 9 points for the game. Versus, I think it was 28 last time, the first time they played them. And so, they really doubled on Dickinson, and they had the speed to close out on open shooters. And Michigan wasn't hitting any shots, regardless, even if they were open shots. And I have to say, Minnesota looked a lot like Michigan did versus Wisconsin, where they were all over them defensively. And Michigan just took Wisconsin out of their game. Minnesota took Michigan out of the game with that supreme defense, and props to Minnesota for that. Another big factor, obviously, with the turnovers. Michigan finished with 20 turnovers for the game, 20. And that's just, you're not going to win games when you have 20 turnovers. Just crazy. They had 11 in the first half, so 9 in the second half. And, man, it was tough. It was tough. But, if you watch the game, there was like one bit where Michigan was on a little run. Chaundee Brown, I think, drained 2 corner threes back-to-back. He forced a defensive turnover, and I think the lead got down to 6. And then, I guess it's because the bench was a little tired, the bench rotation was off. Maybe people were tired. Howard called timeout, took out Chaundee Brown, and then put in Zeb Jackson. A 6-point deficit ballooned to 14 points, just like that. Zeb Jackson, he came in. All he did was go 0 for 2 on three-pointers and had a turnover. Great job, Zeb Jackson. I mean, I'm sure it's extra practice. He's a freshman too, and that's what happens when you have your starters out. You obviously have to spread out minutes, and that was just the huge turning point. And there was in the play, Austin Davis had a dunk blocked. Minnesota came down, drained a 3. Nice 5-point swing there. And, there were just dagger threes. When Robbins, their center, hit 3 for 3 in the second half. Just dagger threes. You're trying to get back. You're trying to stay in the game. Dagger threes. It's man. But you're not going to win when you have 20 turnovers. Not going to win. Another thing, I know that, obviously, Mike Smith had to play a lot. He might have played the whole game except for when we put the scrubs in, the under 4s. But he had 0 points. 0 points for Mike Smith. 10 assists, so, great on that, but not great there with 0 points. He also, he had turnovers in there. Livers was only 4 of 11, 3 of 7 on three-pointers for 11 points of the game. Like I said, Dickinson, 9 points, 5 turnovers. They really seemed to make him very uncomfortable. And I got to say, the first minute of the game, he got called for that terrible offensive foul call. And I think that kind of changed things, too, where he did not want to get a second foul. Again, it goes back to a limited bench. You're down 1 starter. I think there was a thing in his mind where he did not want to get the second foul early. So you kept seeing him kind of laying off guys, not being aggressive and going after shots. And I think that first terrible call kind of impacted that. Any loss, you're not going to be happy with the refs, but they seem to be calling the oddest fouls. And, really late foul calls. The hoop goes, the basket goes in, the ball's almost all the way through the hoop, and now they call a foul. It's this seemed really late. I was not happy with the refs, but when your team loses, you're not usually going to be happy with the refs. So, take it for what it is. I'm a Michigan fan, so I wasn't happy about the reffing. Like I said, Robbins for Minnesota, 22 points. He just played great. Even Carr for Minnesota, 17 points, but that took 18 shots, and he got 5 of 6 free throws. So he really didn't have a great offensive impact. He did get some assists, so give him credit for that. But really the key, Minnesota doubled really well. They were more aggressive. They closed out really well. Michigan did not hit their shots. And you know what? That's the perfect recipe. Turnovers and don't hit shots, and you're going to lose. And that's what Michigan did. They lost, and they looked terrible. Minnesota's defense just great. I mean, Michigan had averaged 80 points except for every game, except for I think last game. They didn't have 80 points, maybe it was 78. And so to score only 57 points, so you're looking at about, a good old 13 points underneath. No, not 13. That'd be 23 points under your average for this season. That's props to Minnesota. Just my foolish thoughts. Hopefully Michigan can get Brooks back, get back to the regular rotation, and get back to the winning column. Hey, let me know what you guys think about the game. Obviously, it's a loss. You take it, you move on, and that's what it is. Until I see you next time, go Blue!